Hi there. I want to quickly show you how you can debug your Node.js application running on the SAP BTP Cloud Foundry environment. For that, I'm making a few assumptions, especially that you already have the Cloud Foundry CLI installed and that you can access it in your terminal, as well as you being logged into Cloud Foundry and you having a running Node.js application that you can access. With that being said, let's quickly jump into the terminal and let's check what you can do in order to debug it. First step that you should do is check if you can access the secure shell, meaning let's quickly run cf space-ssh-allowed and then your respective space name. In this case, the SSH support is enabled, otherwise your organizational administrator could enable it. That being said, let's check next if your application has it enabled, because that's then a second level. So in this case, cf ssh minus enabled and then the respective application name. So in this case, I will simply use one of our running applications and then I can quickly check it. Quickly finish the name and then you'll get an answer whether it is active or not. If it is not active, you can enable it via running the command cf enable -ssh and then the respective application name, so that it would be enabled. In this case, you need to restart it. Usually what we are doing is in the development environment, we specify in the MTA that this should be set to true on a startup. That being said, you can with this now start debugging it. And for that, I will copy in a command and then I will quickly explain it step by step. In this case, we've got a little bit longer command. So you're using secure shell to connect to the application name you've specified. Then you'll see a parameter called -i, which in this case indicates which instance it should connect to. By default, that is 0. In case you've got multiple instances running, you could switch the instance. So you can also leave that parameter away, but then it will automatically go to 0, which might be confusing if you've got multiple instances. Then we are saying that we don't want to have a pseudo TTI, and we say that the ports should be forwarded, so 127.0.0.1.9.2.2.9 should be forwarded to our localhost 9.2.2.9. Then we are running a command. Let's start on the first line with that pgrep minus its own node. In this case, we are searching the process table by name for an exact match of node, and we're picking the oldest process ID. We take the result of it into the variable PID in order to later access it. Then we are checking, is this variable set or not? And if it is not set, then we are basically just returning a no Node.js PID found. And in the other case, we're checking if something is already listening on port 9.2.2.9, 9.2.2.9 in this case being the one used by, for example, the Chrome inspector. If not, then we are running kill -s sig user 1 and the process ID that we've just grabbed beforehand. This signal is basically used to start the inspector at runtime without any restart required. Basically, it allows you then to connect with the Chrome inspector, for example. And then after all of that, we have another command that is just there to keep the SSH session alive, because we need to have this port forwarding. In theory, you could also just execute that in 2 different commands. I'm usually just doing it in one. And if we execute that, we'll in this case see, okay, there was already something listening on 9.2.2.9, but the session is not closing, so we get the port forwarding. And now what we can do is that we can grab Chrome in this case. And in Chrome, you can visit the page chrome://inspect. And in chrome://inspect, you will now see a remote target being displayed. And if you click on inspect for that remote target, you'll get the Chrome developer tools with the respective application running. So you can see the console logs, but you can as well navigate into the respective files and you can set breakpoint wherever you want. Just keep in mind that if you're setting a breakpoint anywhere in here, this is basically on this application, meaning if there is a lot of traffic, a lot of people will eventually be stuck. So if you are at a place where you can attach based on the request, for example, try to look for anything that makes it unique to you. For example, in Cloud Foundry, there is a header that is based on the real IP address that Cloud Foundry got from the outside. Or if you've got a user token, you might check for that user token, because otherwise it might be a little bit A, annoying for other users, and B, annoying for you as well, because there might be a lot of requests hitting you depending on what you are debugging. That being said, that is not the only way to do it. You could also connect it to Visual Studio Code and the likes. But if you just need to have a quick glimpse, this is, from my perspective, the easiest way to do it. And with that being said, there's not much more to it. It's quite simple. Just check if you have SSH enabled, and then you can connect and debug the applications that are really running on Cloud Foundry in case you can't simulate something on, for example, your local machine. All right. If there are any questions, just post them down below, and then see you. Until then.